Okay, we're here in Richmond, Virginia at the North American Handmade Bicycle Show, talking with Brent Curry from Bicycle Forest, one of the few Canadians who made the trek down here to participate in the show. So, Brent, we're interested to see, we weren't aware of that there was a Canadian bike CAD design. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Well, the Bicycle Forest started in 1998, mostly as a bicycle rental company. I started building a lot of novelty bicycles, like the couch bike, and have a treadmill on wheels called the treadmill bike, and all kinds of sort of creative bikes, recumbents. I've also collected a number of other unique bikes that I didn't necessarily build myself, but things like rowing bikes, unicycles, and so on. So at the same time, I also started developing bike CAD, which has since grown into my focus. So I've sold bike CAD to just over 500 small frame builders, large frame builders, bike shops as well, and bicycle fitting specialists. So here to promote that.
So what exactly is bike CAD?
So it's a tool that allows you to model a bicycle. You can tweak pretty much every dimension you want. Like here I'm tweaking the seat angle, the head angle. You can change the seat tube length, etc. You can tweak enough of the geometry to get to the point where you could have a mountain bike, or tweak things to the point where you could have a BMX bike. You can also import photos of riders on bikes. You could, as you can see, tweak the geometry of the bike CAD model to match the model in the photo. You can also model a rider on the bike and tweak that to match the rider in the photo. So when you do take away the photo, you've essentially reverse engineered the frame. You can also experiment with different paint schemes. You can go into this menu, for example, throw in a flame paint scheme. You can change colors. You can add all kinds of images, a brick texture, whatever you like. You can also use a tool called the Fit Advisor, which is popular with bike shops. So if I pull up the Fit Advisor, maybe put a rider on the bike. Let's say, just for demonstration purposes, we want to fit this bike to a giant guy with size 24 shoes. He's 7 feet 9 inches tall. Ideally, I would take all of his measurements, but just for demonstration purposes, I can disable all but the height and just leave it up to bike CAD to approximate the remaining dimensions. If I go calculate, the Fit Advisor then will recommend frame geometry, including crank length, saddle height, seat tube length, and far more. I'm only showing a small sample here. But if we go to the Rider Anatomy tab, apply that to bike CAD, the bike CAD will represent this giant 7 foot 9 inch character riding the bike. We can go back and investigate crank length, where bike CAD is recommending a very long crank length for this giant rider. If we apply that to bike CAD, the cranks get longer. Saddle height, apply that to bike CAD, the saddle extends. Seat tube length, rider compartment, all of these we can apply to bike CAD, and before long we have this enormous bike that fits this giant rider. So that's sort of a quick look at the Fit Advisor, after which you can change other dimensions to accommodate his massive frame. But that's kind of the idea of bike CAD. You can, once you've designed a bike, print out a fully dimensioned drawing, hand that to customers. You can get all the dimensions necessary to build the frame, including, if you wish, miter templates to wrap around the ends of the tubes, file down the joints.
So I mean, is your background in programming, or is it in engineering, or like what brought you to design this?
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I Went to the University of Waterloo, did co-op terms with a number of bike companies. So worked in France for Vitus Cycles, worked in Vancouver for Synchros Applied Technology, worked in Australia making Australia Post delivery bikes. Went out to Vancouver, worked under Christaker. So over the years I sort of spent a lot of time designing bikes, started out on just paper and sort of worked through programs like AutoCAD and so on. And I just saw a real need for a parametric modeling tool that was specific to bikes. So set about making it without too much expectation at first, but it's really grown into something that's occupying my full attention.
Okay, and I think the website's bikeforest.com?
That's right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So are you finding that, you mentioned bike shops, so you finding bike shops are buying it as well as to use as parts as a fitting tool?
That's right, yeah. It's and which is exciting because there is still a surprising number of frame builders. So there's a good market there, but of course there are far more bike shops, and it's encouraging to see them buy the product. I've also had it translated into Japanese, Italian, German, Spanish, so opening up a lot of markets in Europe and around the world.
Good. Well, congratulations and good luck with that.
Oh, thanks for the interview.